So I really want to talk about postpartum. Everybody talks about it like it's just this next step adjustment after you had your baby. You know it's coming. Maybe you prepared for it a little bit. You got your supplies, you got your belly bands and your nursing gear and hopefully some meals because you really need them. And you thought you were ready because you did everything externally that would show you're ready. But no one talks about how your entire identity shifts. It's not just the sleepless nights. It's waking up in those sleepless nights thinking, who am I now? I used to have a job and a routine and a social life that made sense. And now it's like everything is in flux. Everything's a question. Should I go back to work? Should I stay home? Why do I feel dumb now? Like my brain is just in this perpetual state of fog. It's this massive emotional and physical shift that we just don't talk about enough in society. And that's really what I want to talk about today. Because the truth of it is that most of us are doing this without the kind of support that women used to have. We don't have the built-in village anymore. A lot of us are figuring this out as we go. And this identity shift, this is a major turning point in our lives. And we're alone in our homes scrolling at 3 a.m. feeling like we should somehow know how to navigate all of this. And on top of that, we're told things like, make sure you fill your cup first, or like, happy mom, happy home. And like, as if that's not enough pressure, it's something, it's just that something you can't just flip a switch on while your whole life is being completely and totally rearranged. It's a lot. And, we're not talking about it enough. The identity part, even the community part, the who am I now part. And somewhere in the middle of all of that, you're still expected to somehow take care of yourself. Like, you hear all the sayings, everything comes to mind, like you can't pour from an empty cup, or put on your oxygen mask before you try to put on someone else's. Like, those are valid, but nobody tells you how to do that when you barely have time to take a shower or eat a meal or even finish a thought. And honestly, the idea of self-care can start to feel like just another thing that you're failing at. But here's the thing, you deserve something simple and something doable and something that doesn't ask more of you than you already have on your plate. And one of the smallest everyday things you already do, something that you have to do, is get dressed. It sounds almost too simple, but sometimes the most basic, tangible acts become the grounding ones that we really need to start feeling like ourselves again. Something like choosing an outfit that makes you feel even 1% more like yourself, that can be your oxygen mask. And it's not because clothes fix everything, but it's because they give you a real, physical, out in the world way to reconnect with the part of you that does still exist underneath all that fog and the changes and the overwhelm and the burnout. This is the kind of thing that got me thinking and was actually the inspiration for the Everyday Essence method. It's not to be some kind of big program or mindset overhaul, but really just as a simple way of helping myself figure out what parts still felt true and what parts I want to bring out in this new version of myself, this mother version of myself. The essences are just little facets of you, the softness, the strength, the simplicity, the creativity. It's all there. It's all part of who you are. It just you might have lost sight of it in the middle of all of these changes. And instead of trying to, rebuild your whole identity overnight, what I'm trying to start with are those small, recognizable pieces that are still there and that we can bring out. We can use it to guide the tiny decisions that you're already making, like what do you go and reach for in your closet. So getting dressed becomes less of a chore and more of a moment where you actually get to say to yourself, oh, there I am. I'm still here. I'm still me. And I feel like me again. It's subtle, it's doable, and it doesn't require you to become a brand new person. Instead, it just helps you reconnect with the one you already were, but with this new facet that's been added, this motherhood facet. So that's what this space is going to be for. It's not about perfection, it's not about pressure, it's not another list of things that you should be doing. It's just real conversations about this identity shift, because we're all navigating and we're looking for small, tangible ways to feel a little bit more like the you were before this process. Because even if we don't have the village that maybe prior generations had, we can still create connection. We can still be there for each other. We can still talk about what's actually hard and what's actually helping. And as we go on this channel, my goal is to help show how these essences can help you understand your own style in a way that feels personal, intuitive, and grounding. We're going to take it slowly. One idea, one small shift, one outfit, one moment of, okay, I feel a little bit more like me right now at a time. And that's the goal. That's the whole point. That's all we're looking for. You don't need a whole new wardrobe. You don't need to reinvent yourself. You just need a way back to the parts of you that feel familiar, that make you feel like you're home within yourself again. So in the next few videos, I'll be talking about the essences and the style method, what they are and how to use them in a way that's not complicated or overwhelming. And if you're curious to dive into the first essence, just check out the link right here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up. And I'm excited to get to know you. And I'm excited to help you get to know yourself better too.